Howdy all you delicious people, I'm here today to do a re-intro of this channel. Because a number of names of this channel has changed, a number of backgrounds have changed, a number of me has changed while doing this channel. So, first off, I want to say here that I wanted nothing more than the interactions between you and me to be human contact of some kind. If I could reach out and touch you right now, that would be weird, but if anything, also, maybe you need that right now. I don't know. I don't know who you are, but maybe at some point I will get to know you. Uh, but anyways, already we're off to a weird start, but regardless, that's who I am. Eventually, things get weird. As well as also, for you to realize that when I'm to go on and talk here, there's nothing that I'm to try to manipulate, clickbait, flex, boast, whatever the thesaurus of words that are to seem to be that I'm trying to try and do some kind of trickery or bamboozling or shenanigans here. Because believe me, all I've ever wanted to do when I've started to put this specific channel together is I love freaking movies and shows. And then on top of that, I also was to start to fall back in love with fitness, weightlifting, exercising, while also a little bit on the negative side, I had gone on to also got fat shamed on the channel. Let's whip out the violins. Uh, yeah, there are some times where people will go on and be negative on the channel, and there are some times where I will take it too hard, and then there's sometimes where I won't even read a lot of it. Because I just am to try and to be in the best mental health state that I can possibly be, and some of that stuff just comes off as like, what is this person talking about? But then also, there's some times where I'm just like, well, like if someone is going on and talking about my weight, like I've always been a person that I feel has always been in shape, but what if I went on and took all these equipment pieces that I have and changed my body, changed the way I look, and hope that that'll come off more cosmetically appealing to the world, and hope that it will be at some day. Because it's still probably not there, dare say. So, but getting back to movie and show things, to look behind me, you have seen probably a number of things at this point now as I'm talking to you. A number of enjoyment, a number of just past things you were to reflect on, like, yeah, I like this, I like that, ooh, cool. Visually, whatever. These are not things that I've gone on to buy on eBay yesterday. These have been things that have been in my collection for a severely long time. And my collection, which you may have seen at certain points, has really gone on and been a mass amount of things. Physical media, Blu-ray and DVDs, movie and TV show things of collection, bobbleheads, action figures, piggy banks, things of that kind, statues, any number of things that I've accumulated over time. This is to all be because I've enjoyed these pieces of content. I've gone on to really have them be important to me, regardless of how good or bad they are. And ultimately, these are always going to be things that I will hope to try as best as I can to hang on to. But via the way in which that my life is going to happen, that may not always occur. So, when I go on and I talk about movies and shows, it's probably because I've seen them way too often. There is to, of course, be a Ghostbuster shirt that I'm wearing currently at Seconds Recording just because. And I've seen Ghostbusters 1 and 2 probably hundreds of times. I've gone on to see Fight Club maybe 50 times. I've seen Scream maybe like 100 times in one summer. Like I've gone on to see tons and tons of movies multiple times, so much so that I probably don't really quite know how many times I've seen certain films. But it's all because I've gone on to enjoy them, and I hope to at some point share that enjoyment with you, the viewer or person that is watching this. And if it ends up being Care Bears or it ends up being some very almost adultish like content, which I can't even really say much of even the title of it because of clearly how it's to probably be some swear or some kind of thing of which that is to probably be too much to try to say on YouTube. I'm going to do my best to still try and review that project as well as stuff like Care Bears, where it's just to be at a certain rung of life of ratings and whatever, what have you. And that is what it is. I'm going to try to do my best to try to review everything because instead of me just going on and just doing one thing on here or going on and just doing new releases or just doing severely hidden gems, I'm going to go on and just try to just be like, everything counts, everything matters. And that's how I'm just going about things. And if it seems too random for you, I apologize. If I had gone on and done some content way down below of time of which that you are to, of course, be frustrated because there is no way that I have not gone on and yet come back to that, I apologize. But feasibly, it's just because I can't always to appeal to one individual, as well as also there's just some content that just doesn't go as well as I would like to hope it would. And if it did go extremely well, then god dang would I go on and devote so much effing time to it. Believe me, I really would. But some certain things on this channel have a shelf life, sadly enough. Or a shelf life of just my attention span of it. I just don't know. Uh, other rationale for other bits of content will just waver from piece to piece. So I am to go on and say here that I am to hope that the thumbnails will not have a lot of people think that I'm to go on and spend a longevous amount of money on clothing, or for people to go on and expect a certain thing out of this channel, because who knows how long I'm going to be doing these Closet plays for, as well as also to have people realize that there is to be not a really much of any money whatsoever that I've still tried to even prevent to spend money on this channel for, unless equipment has failed, or like in all honesty, like I've gone on to take certain pieces of equipment and had to like go on and really just try to duct tape them together to keep them going, and that's freaking sad, but it's the truth. So if you are to go on and see a drastic change in thumbnail or drastic, it's just because I've gotten a certain piece of clothing from someplace somewhere, and now I'm going to just showcase it off because I really had liked that piece of clothing. I'd really liked me finally accomplishing getting that piece and wanting to just share it with you, even though I may not have gone on and exactly liked the content that it's connected to, but still, like, I have to go on and just want to just show it off just because it's like, man, this is kind of cool that I was able to get this. And also, there is a lot of stuff that I've collected over time that it's like, oh, cool. It's nice that I have this thing that it's it's been from a franchise that it's been beloved by me, and I have a whole collection of it. And I just yeah, like, it's true, it's real. And there's some stuff also that is just like, well, like, I'm getting it just for collectional purposes because like I like costume shirts, I like prop things, I like memorabilia, I like all these things, and it's trying to, as best as I can in the way of which that I can only specifically do it right now, to be able to continue that collection, to continue on trying to in my best way showcase my love and affection for these certain projects that I hope will come off on screen. So I hope that anybody who is to ever get anything out of this, I hope that they'll get some knowledge. They'll get some little trivia thing that they can share with someone else with, or really just go on and find out if something is good or bad or indifferent or not. And they will go on and check that out themselves to find out if they are to have a similar opinion or drastically different. And that's all I always ever wanted from this. So, with that said, uh, anything other than me going on and probably talking about this channel will just kind of just be me ranting and blabbing and whatever. So, I hope to at some point go on and share maybe my collection of things, share my eventual physical medias, eventually maybe even video games, stuff that I've collected over times, action figures, bobbleheads, a lot of those behind me now, and just a number of other things. And it's probably also because I may have anxieties about doing these videos, or I may go on and not exactly have the confidence to be like, I don't know about this one. Like I feel that I've also, for a lot of time of me being on here, have probably been so set in my ways that it is kind of hard to crowbar me off to do something different. And also the anxieties at some certain points that I have about doing projects will go on and have me probably disappear at some certain points, or the depression that hits me when things continue to go bad or continue to go wrong, or on top of that I'll get somebody who goes on and says something negative, which again just derails me because of my mental health. But until we go on and we get to our following days and we get to more content, I'll always try as best as I can to still be here and hope to continue on doing movie and show reviews, and hopefully doing more fitness stuff, because at some certain point that is to kind of be as much, not as much going, but it's all just about like, well, what is going to be most appealing to people with those, and it seems that that is to kind of be quasi limited, but I just don't know about the best way to do them either. As well as also, I still don't know how the best way to do any of this stuff still, regardless of how the length of time I've done it for. Because I don't feel that I've ever perfected anything. I don't feel that I've ever gone on to uh, feel certain that I put my best foot forward on content, even though I've had successes in the past, or I've gone on to had another channel where it had been bigger than this one or whatever. It also just is to be like, well, hey, we're here now and we're going to make the best of it. So hopefully that's what you're here for, to just make the best of it, because that's where I think I'm going to go on. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for going on and watching this, because I do appreciate it, you taking the time to get to know me. If anything, I'm to probably go on and say more further about me. Just may come off as just me just ranting and rattling off. So, if there are to be any questions about me as a person, like common questions or whatever, as long as you're just trying to just be positive or what have you, then by all means, ask away. There might be some times where a lot of people may go on and be like, why haven't you gone on and done this piece of content yet? Like, well, I'm sorry. like I just don't think that it's viable, or I just don't think like there's something about me that realizes that like I shouldn't, or I couldn't, or I won't, or whatever. I just like there's some flavoring also of me that even if I see YouTubers that have huge views on certain things, like I will even go on to think myself, well, hey, maybe I should do that movie and that show too. And then when I do it, nothing happens over here. It's weird. YouTube is to be the most random thing that I've ever had to experience to be on. And there is a lot of factors that comes into the success that weirdly I've had and other people haven't, and vice versa. There has also been just like, well, hey, other YouTubers are to go on and be better at this. They're to be better looking than I am. They're to be better ways of presenting and attractive and them. And I have to just be me, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm carving out what I'm carving out here, and I hope that at some point it's feasibly just me just being like, well, hey, like, I've gone on to talk to other YouTubers and kind of reflect on like, yeah, like it seems that this movie is like actually like a lot of people are surprisingly being positive about it, or a lot of people are being negative about it, and I just found it to be different, or I just found it to be whatever, and yeah, it's just like, and like maybe I'll look into it. I don't know, like it's just like so. Like there are times when I've gone on to review a movie that I have really just been like, I hate this, and everyone likes it. I'm like, really? Well, I guess I'm just in the minority, but that's fine because if anything, everybody has their flavor. This is Baskin Robbins, this is like everybody has their certain kind of taste, and if I come in here, I'm trying to see my viewpoint of saying, like, well, hey, this is how I feel, but I can understand others because I want to be sympathetic and I want to be very much like, hey, if you don't like this movie, I can understand, but hey, I like this movie and here's why. If I don't like this movie and other people's do, I can understand, but again, this is just my opinion of why I can critique this and whatever. And there is some bit of knowledge that I have that you're like, oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Because maybe you've never seen a movie, maybe you've never seen a show, maybe you've never seen a YouTube thing of some kind that is to go on and have the exact same thing that you weren't aware of. Because nobody knows everything here. I don't know everything. I'm to say that if I'm to come off as an expert, it's because I've exhausted myself with the research that I've done on this channel. I have spent hours going on to try to find movies that may, in my personal perspective, or probably to think that others could find a movie to be appealing. And I will always go on and try to do that research because I feel that it's important to me and it's important to the channel. And I will also try to go on and do my best to try to find interviews of people talking about their movies and maybe try to get a different opinion and maybe try to get something and maybe just try to come in here with some certain kind of perspectives. But like, there's also just like, hey, I don't have all the time in the world also. And there's almost so much time that I want to invest in this and have it also just kind of turn around and be like, yeah, that didn't turn out too good. But at least I'm to go on and try. So hopefully you'll go on and try this channel out if you are to be a person who is willing to watch movie and show reviews, maybe see fitness shorts, maybe go on and eventually at some point comment of like-minded interests, or just go on and just share whatever. Maybe you're having a crappy day. Maybe you just want to get that off your chest. People can vent. It's a thing. People can do it. So can you. Like, I always want to say that, like, I would probably use reviews as a way to, like, therapeutically get something out. I am to use fitness as a way to try to eliminate depression and try to release stress, or to try to be focused on something other than my day has gone to the crapper, or uh, this or that or whatever didn't go well. So I'm just going to focus on my weightlifting, or I'm going to focus on my life, or I'm going to focus on this movie as a way of just effing escape. So yeah. So venting and therapeutically getting something out is always okay on this channel, as well as also to see a number of people that are going to do the same upon their channels. I'm like, good! Freaking talk about yourself. Intro these people to yourself like a motherfucker. Do it. Just go ahead. Because frickin' we have such short of lives. Life is effing short. Good grief, people. Life is short. A lot of people go like, oh no, I have tomorrow, I have the next day, I have a week from now, I have a month, whatever, year. But life is still short. If you watch something, why not talk about it? If you were to go on and want to check something out, but you just were on, it's like, just click into something. Click into all the buttons, except for the ones where it might just get you some kind of trouble. So don't do that, but just kind of like look at what you're clicking at some certain points. Come on, people. Anyways, so a channel like this is meant to just purely have fun, therapeutically getting something off your chest, and just going about your day afterwards, because you have X number of minutes which you are to invest in, and then you're bouncing, and then you're out, and then you're going on and being like, okay, now back to our regularly scheduled program of life. So with that said, thank you for going on and investing that time. Thank you for going on and deciding you may want to hit any of those buttons down there, because I have to remind you that they exist, because I have to be, let's go on and let's make people realize that buttons exist down there. That is the dumbest thing. You know that they exist. Why do I have to remind you they exist? But I guess that's my existence? I don't know. I don't know what that is. But there at some points is the song and dance of me. There's the point of me just being this goofy guy. But it's also, I think, to be funny, but then it's also to remind me at some points of like the retail thing, where retail people are like, yeah, you have to come into the store and you have to smile and you have to go on and say hello to everybody, and you have to go on and you have to do this and that. And here's the thing that is to be a takeaway from that. So let's talk about the intros and outros. Howdy. Howdy, all of you delicious people. Howdy ended up coming from, because I've said this probably in the past, but I'll reiterate it again because this is a re-intro video. Might as well. Howdy was to go on and be a thing that I got from retail. Because in all honesty, I had gone on to say hello to like 30 people in one day. It gets freaking tiring to just say hello every time. I would change it up and be like, hi, hello, how are you? How's your mom? Like, how's the fam? because it would just be tired of me going on and just saying hello every time. It gets really tiring. Plus, also, it's freaking funny to say also howdy to people and see their face light up. I'm like, did you just say howdy to me? I'm like, yeah, I just did. Like, let's go. Like, what do you have to just give back to me? And they would laugh or they would chuckle, they would whatever. I'm like, good. Like, all right. Like, we're going to have a good interaction, you and me. So I would just say howdy and I would throw it out there. And immediately, like, somebody would smile, laugh, or whatever. I'm like, there we go. It wasn't to go on and be any kind of manipulative. No, it was just like, yeah, let's have fun, you and I. What are you going about this store for? Let's get your crap and get out. That's really what it was. This short transaction between the two of us. Just get your and get out. No. It was really helping the other person. It's like whatever you guys need. So I would go on and I would say howdy to people. Like, you seriously saying howdy to me? I'm like, yeah. I'm really just like, let's figure this out now. Let's figure out how to make this kind of interaction between us really funny. And then, howdy all you delicious people, delicious. I would love words that are to go on and be used as food as something other than that. It's weird. But it also is to be like, to describe something as that just sounded just so like enjoyable to me. It just did. Like using words like succulent as a person, or to go on and say that a person is delicious, because I'd gotten that also from Spider-Man 3, where the woman ends up announcing J. Jonah Jameson's son, and the son comes out and you're like, yeah, the delicious J. Jonah Jameson Jr. And then he comes out. And that just stuck with me to intro, as well as also use the word delicious. I'm like, okay, howdy all you delicious people. And that just stuck in there, and I hope it never goes away. It's always going to be the intro of this channel. Like, there have been some times where I'm like, is that a stupid thing to intro the channel with? Like, there are times where I second guess that. There are certain times where I've been like, hello, or there are certain times where I've just been like, but I'm always going to go back to it because, like, F it, life is short. Goodbye, everybody was to go on and be like, I have no idea how to exit this video. I was always trying to come up with some kind of weird, goofy exit, and there are times where I would hesitate about saying goodbye. So I would say it multiple times. So I'm just like, how do I say goodbye, everybody? And then, like, that'll be the outro. And that, again, just stuck. Like, I think there's a lot of times where when people who are in the YouTube gang of things and gaggle of things and goof of things, they go on and they find their weird things that just stick. And maybe people are to always want to go on and want those intros and want those outros always in the videos because of how consistent they've always been. Regardless how the length of the videos were and how a lot of people didn't watch the whole thing. So now we get to the weird things of which that I've gone on to state certain things that maybe specifically people go into certain reviews just to hear me just to hear me ill pronounce things, or for me to say stuff like hospital instead of hospital, or for me to go on into just describing people in weird and strange ways, just because of just logically how my brain works, as well as also just for me to try to figure out some way to make something more goofy and funny. I am to go on here and say that the whole goofy naming of things was to always be one, to see if anybody would catch it and anybody would complain to me about it. And then there also is certain times where I would mispronounce some things by accident, and then people would hugely point that out to me in a number of ways. In one comment section of the video, I'd come to find that, like, well, its name of this character is actually pronounced Falula. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know it was Falula. And then when I go about it again, I'm like, okay, I guess the name of this character is Falula. My bad. And I guess, yeah, there is quite a bit of people who probably click off from anything because something is mispronounced or ill pronounced or goofily pronounced, like how I do. How dare you? You know how much that I am to go on and have to say words in these videos? For 30 minutes I have been talking to you. And I thought we had a really good, fun conversation here. But you know what? If I'm to ill pronounce something and you are to just dislike that, then there's nothing I can do to win you over. Sadly enough. So, with that said, I hope that we will eventually share one another at some point. Whether it's just via watching a video, via it's you probably laughing at some stupid thing that I went into. Because I like to do accents. I like to make goofy, funny, weird noises. And I like to go on and probably sound like a chipmunk at some point. Because I do. Delicious. It is. Anyways, so you fill up my senses. I don't remember the rest of that song, so anyways. Yes, I sound like the guy from Bobby's World, Howie Mandel, that guy. Yeah, I do. I love doing this voice. I don't know if you can hear it that well, but I do it all the time. I do that voice all the time. All of the time. When I'm at home, I'm doing it consistently because, like, I just like to keep talking. And so that's the voice that I like to go into all the time. I know it's cute. I know it's delish, but it's there. It's there all the time. Anyways. So, again, I don't know if you're picking all that up or hearing any of it, but regardless, I'm doing it anyways. So, with that said, I'm going to get the heck out of here because at this point, you're to just go on and be like, man, this guy's weird. I like the other intro video. Me too. But I'm doing this here anyways because a number of things have changed. A lot more things have probably been more vagued out by me. But regardless, you're to go on and get a cluster F of things that I'm to just try as best as I can within an X number of minutes of time to say who I am, to explain a lifespan of a person, to explain hundreds of things of which that I've gone on and spent time reviewing, talking about, and doing while on here. So it's very hard for me to condense that all down in one video in one span of time because eventually this video will change, morph, and or this channel will change, morph, and probably this specific video will no longer be applicable or will no longer be a thing that exactly matches with what I'm doing on current date of possible channel. I don't know, but if anything, you have gone into this, you have heard a guy talk, so I appreciate it. So, thank you for going on and being possibly a future part of the channel in some way, whether it's a view, a comment, a subscription, a person that eventually I will futurely call Delicious, because you are delicious, and and succulent, and whatever the heck else I can randomly come up with, whatever it is to be flying out of this mouth of that day. It'll happen. So, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. I have finally gone on and achieved said done a video because logically, I have probably gone on to try this video a number of different times in a number of different ways, and I always think that it fails. I think that this video will probably have failed of doing this whole thing. But regardless, I very much second guess myself. I very much am to go on and do intros over and over and over again, hoping I can get it right, because that's how much I care. That's how much I dare say want to hope that I come off the best I possibly can, even though I'm never going to win everyone over. I'm never going to win a mass number of people, but for how much I've had a number of people already on this channel. It's great to see that happening. It's great to, and I'm not all doing this just for new people. I'm doing it for the people that have hung on here for way too long. And to not show that I don't appreciate them also, to not show that I am, to try to do this video to try to correct things of my past, hoping that in the future doing this video will eventually benefit that. I don't know. So, bye everybody. Bye everybody.